This week on the Erotic Awakening Podcast, episode 768, Relationship Styles, Part 3, Backpatches, and. Welcome to Erotic Awakening, an exploration of all things erotic. If you are offended by adult topics or prohibited by law, I recommend you stop listening right now. First, a heartfelt thanks to the amazing patrons of Erotic Awakening, each and every one of you. Your support literally keeps this podcast, the longest running kink podcast, on the air. This week, a special welcome to our newest supporter, Jenny. I'm so glad you're here and thanks for your support. If you'd like to help support the show, consider becoming a patron. Just visit patreon.com/eroticawakening today. Hi, everyone. I'm Dawn, and I'm here this week to continue the conversations on power exchange, polyamory, sacred sexuality, and simply fun kink. So the topic for this week is relationship styles, part 3. I didn't realize there were so many words for relationship styles, but when you're talking about FetLife, which is where I get these words from, people like their relationships to be unique or descriptive or whatever. So we have a long list of words. It's not just boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, whatever. We want to be a little more descriptive. So what I did for this week was just go through the list and find some ones that jumped out at me. Because you guys know what boyfriend is, you know what play partner is, you know some of those things, but let's do some of the weird ones, like I said, that really spoke to me and I wanted to know a little bit more about them, or they look like something I might want to put on my profile. Now, this may be the last time I do relationship styles. Then again, I might find a time that I do relationship styles for polyamory because I saw a lot of polyamory words in there. Anyway, today's just weird words. So the first one I came across was Foodbuddy. Okay, it's not a feeder, it's not a feedie, it's just Foodbuddy. I think I want some of these. So Foodbuddy usually refers to a kinky friend who has food as a significant or exclusive component of the friendship. Okay. Um, I'm going to say the way I see this is, let's say I have a friend from the kink community and the only time we get together is to have lunch or to have dinner or to try out new foods. That's going to be a food buddy for me. Other people could use it differently, but that's how I would use it. Someone just posted a post on a Columbus, Ohio Fet group that was about a friend of ours in the community that had passed. And my memory that I put out there of them was anytime that I came through town, we ate lunch. That was the extent of our friendship. We ate lunch together. We discussed things over lunch. I think I would have listed him as a food buddy. So that's kind of cool. I like that. Another word is flock. So I was looking at this because flock could mean a couple of things to different people. So I decided to see what FetLife meant. So a flock dynamic refers to a group of individuals who come together to form a close-knit community or family-like structure in a BDSM community, like a lot of groups do that get together. This group might share common spiritual beliefs, practices, and goals, and they support each other in their journeys. Okay. Similar to a group of people who identify as being in a house or a leather family. The flock dynamic is similar to spiritual families, groups that come together based on shared spiritual beliefs and practices, often forming deep bonds. So, flock, the way I was thinking of it, was in a religious community. That is kind of what you call the followers of a person. They're kind of using that in this description, but like it says, it's like a leather house. It's like a family group. It's like that, but it has spiritual connotations. Hmm. My group is a coven because that's what we call our spiritual group. Some people can use flock. All right. Flirtationship. I like this one. A flirtationship is a relationship dynamic where two people consistently flirt with each other, but are not officially dating, committed, or clearly romantically involved. It's more than casual banter, but not a defined relationship. A flirtationship can be flirty, platonic, or a combination of both. It can stay as a flirtationship or be a low stakes stepping stone to a deeper relationship at a later date. Or not. It doesn't have to be a relationship escalator, right? It can just be flirtation. If I was going to add a person for flirtationship to my FET profile, I know exactly who I would add because flirting. Now, here's the one that I saw that made me decide to do just some weird words. This one is Shade of My Heart. It's a relationship style called Shade of My Heart. It actually comes from a book. The term originates from Robert Jordan's fantasy novel series, The Wheel of Time. And it's a term of endearment that's often used to express a deep emotional connection and a sense of being cherished and protected by someone. So the phrase suggests that the person being addressed is an integral part of the speaker's emotional landscape, akin to a part of their soul or a cherished memory. So Shade of My Heart is a poetic and an evocative way to express a profound level of love and affection. So I think what I got from the description was that maybe in that book there was desert. I don't know. I haven't read the book. I should probably put that on my Audible list. But anyway, what I get from it is that it was like a desert or a lot of sun or something like that. So shade is what you would want to offer someone that you loved in those sort of conditions. So Shade of My Heart. I really like that one. It is unique and it means something very deep and something that can be hard to explain. All right. Spare tire partner. I was like, what the hell is a spare tire partner? All right. A person, online or in real life, who's kept in reserve when someone's primary partner isn't available or when tensions arise in that relationship. The connection is maintained quietly without openly acknowledging it. And that's all it says. So a spare tire partner. I think I kind of get that. So if my partner wasn't available, it's who I would invite to go out with me. But we don't necessarily go on FET and say, here's my spare tire partner, sort of thing. At first, I was like, ooh, I'd be offended if I was a spare tire partner. No, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't mind being invited along when I could think of a few people that I would love to be invited along, even as a backup plan. So yes. That can work for me. And I may be a spare tire partner and not even know it. Because to me, it's just a friend. Kind of like the Foodbuddy. I was explaining the Foodbuddy to friends of mine that I'm staying with right now. And they're like, oh, you mean a friend? I'm like, some of these absolutely are friends that they have made labels for. So the Foodbuddy, um, spare tire partner, things like that. Okay, so here's another one that could just be a friend, but they've labeled it, and I really like it. So this one is called a squish. I feel like this word has been around for a while, but I don't know where I would have heard it. So anyway, squish. A squish is usually a strong, non-romantic attraction to someone, similar to a crush, but without romantic or sexual feelings. It typically involves a desire for friendship, emotional closeness, or shared experiences rather than a romantic relationship. I have a few people that I have a squish on. And it's kind of funny because it's like, ooh, could I just say I have a crush on them? No, I think that's why I haven't been playing the game on FET where you are supposed to tell everybody that you have a crush on, that you have a crush on them, but they can't see it unless they also mark it that they have a crush on you. And I'm not liking that game at all, so I'm not playing it. But Squish, I could reach out and say I have a squish on somebody, and because I'm demisexual, once I get to know someone as a squish, it could turn romantic. So, hmm, that's kind of cool. I'm not crushing on them because I don't feel romantic with people right off the bat. I have to get to know them first. But squish? Oh, I could absolutely put that out there for people. I may have to write a few people and tell them that I'm squishing on them. I need to add some. Oh, and food buddies. I would love to have some food buddies with the way I travel. Are there any carnivores out there that would like to become food buddies so that when I'm in your town, we can go find meat? I would love that. And maybe, ooh, how's that for a segue? Maybe we could get together at one of the upcoming events that I will be at. So, coffee, carnivore, conversation. I will be at a few places before the end of the year. So, Libertine in Southern Indiana. Labor Day weekend, I'll be presenting and vending, and it's a camping event. I will also be at Scissortail in Tulsa, September 25 through 27, where I will be emceeing. Oh, I would love to have dinner plans with people. Then it is Seek, a submissive retreat in Wisconsin, October 8th through 11. Satyricon in Madison, November 8th. I'll be vending. Wisconsin Leather Pride in Milwaukee. That is an update from last week where I had it wrong. It's actually going to be in Milwaukee. November 13 through 15, I'll be presenting. And the Kink Holiday Bazaar in Chicago on November 21st, where I'm vending. More info to come as details get ironed out. Keep up with the places I'm presenting or vending or emceeing, my online classes and intensives, book news discounts, and more via the Erotic Awakening newsletter. And when you sign up, you get your EA shout out like Emily in Ohio. Wonder if it's the Emily. I know a couple of Emilys in Ohio. Head over to eroticawakening.com and subscribe to the newsletter today. All right, so next up is Backpatches. I mentioned Backpatches on the last show. I think it was the last show, and I thought I would talk a little bit more about those because some people don't know what Backpatches are. If you are in the kink community or the poly community and you're listening to the show, you may not know that in the leather communities and the power exchange communities, we wear back patches. So let me tell you what those are. They actually, I don't know if they originated in motorcycle clubs, but motorcycle clubs wear back patches. And a lot of the stuff that we do in the leather community is emulated from motorcycle clubs and military and stuff like that. You know, it's a combination of a few different things. And back patches is one of those things. These are literally patches that you wear on the back of your vest. They have the club name, maybe values of the club, maybe a rocker, which is a curved patch that goes under the big patch that has their location or something like that. So if you see motorcycles pass you and they're wearing leather vest with matching patches, that means they belong to a motorcycle club or a group or whatever. So if you're at a leather event and you see people wearing leather vest, mine's a denim one right now. My leather vests are in storage, but usually it's a leather vest with a patch, a big patch on the back of it. They can be leather patches, they can be embroidered patches, anything like that. And usually this will be people that belong to a house or a group. We had House Metta. So I've got a couple of leather vests with back patches that I have worn over the years. For me, we had House Metta, which was our leather house. I also had Power Exchange Summit, which was the event that we ran. I also have one that is my title back patch. So GLLA Slave of 2010, I have a back patch. So many title winners wear these back patches. So for House Meta, I wore that vest and back patch during our title run. During title runs, you have interviews. So one of the judges asked us to explain our back patch because our back patch, the top of it says House Meta, and then there's two quadrants on the bottom of the shield. So ours was in the shape of a shield. Some people's are round, some people's are diamonds, some have random shapes, but ours was a shield. And on the shield at the top, it said House Meta. And then in the lower left was a picture of an old-fashioned lock and an old-fashioned key. So a lock and key. We were going to do like whips and collars and stuff like that, but we wanted to be able to wear these out in public. So lock and key. The lower right-hand quadrant was a skunk. So of course they're going to ask us about our back patch, right? Who has a skunk on their back patch? Well, we did because for years we had lived by something called skunk medicine. And basically that meant we never had to throw someone out of a group that we ran because we worked really hard at attracting people that were like us. And that is skunk medicine. Only skunks like skunks. So only skunks like skunks. And that's what we built our groups upon, was only people like us, liked us, and wanted to be with us. And therefore, we had a really good group of people in our house. So we weren't trying to be a large house because then you start pulling in people just to have numbers. We wanted quality over quantity. So that is skunk medicine. And then everyone in this group had this back patch. Dan was the leader. He had a leather back patch. He had his made first. And then for the rest of us, I went out and got embroidered back patches. So I went to a embroidering person that works for motorcycle clubs and gave them the logo and they made us back patches. So everyone in the group had a back patch. If someone left the group, and I think that only happened once, someone left the group because they were going to go start their own house and they gave the back patch back. And then we took that back patch, we had someone else join the group, and we gave them that back patch. So, we kind of passed down the back patch. So that was kind of cool. And then when the group retired, everyone kept their back patch. I will probably, maybe, once I get to storage and get my 3 leather vest out, I may start to wear that vest again. I don't know. Maybe I'll make a rocker for it that says retired. I like that vest because it's got all my event pins on it. It's a very heavy vest, but I like wearing those pins. Hmm. We'll see. I'll see what it feels like when I go pull it out. But anyway, I have a couple of vests in there that as people have passed or whatever, those get given back to me and I keep them. I am probably going to give one of those back patches. Oh, I already have. I gave one of the back patches to the Leather Archives, and then the leather quilt that we talked about on a previous show with Just Rob. I'm going to save one of those back patches and donate it to the leather quilt. So it will be forever remembered on that leather quilt. So that's kind of cool. So there's back patches for you, a little bit of history, a little bit of House Metta, things like that. A lot of people have back patches now. It's kind of cool to show that you belong to a group or that you won a title or, anything like that. My back patch right now is the Erotic Awakening Podcast, simply because the Power Exchange one, we don't run that event anymore, but I could still wear it. House Metta retired. I can still wear it. What's the other one? Oh, GLLA Slave 2010. I just had a conversation with a respected master in the community, and I was like, since the breakup, I don't feel like I can wear that vest anymore. And he just looked me dead in the eye and said, "You wear that vest. You earned it. You wear it." So I may start wearing that one again. We'll see. But in the meantime, I didn't have a vest on me with a back patch. I had my motorcycle vest, but not a back patch leather vest. And so I had one made for the podcast. And it's a denim vest with that back patch on it. I really like it. It's kind of cool. And it has pockets, because pockets, we need to have pockets. Anyway, so let's wrap this show up. I probably shouldn't have said that too fast because the next little thing I'm going to talk about is a little long. Maybe. So, what I wanted to share with you guys was and. And. And basically, what and is about is all the stuff that I've been doing. So, speaking of GLLA Master Slave Contest, we, Dan and I, won the regional title, but we did not win the international title. And that year, we were running against some really great people, and the couple that won absolutely needed to win. So Liza and Jody, love them. They won. Everything's great. At GLLA, we had to do our step down speech the following year. And in that step down speech, we titled it And. And that is because even though we did not win international, we talked about all the things that we did do that year and that we had accomplished. And one of those was we didn't win international, but we did publish the book Living MS that year. So we put the energy into the book and the podcast and, and all these other things. So it was, and we did this, and we did that, and we did this other thing, so we did okay, even though we didn't win the international title. Actually, we probably got more done because we didn't win that title. Anyway, that's kind of the feeling this post took that I put on FetLife, and it is called And. Now, the whole reason I wrote it was because I had hit the 1 year anniversary since the breakup. I have a group of women friends that I talk to on Marco Polo, and sometimes I get sad and I'm on there and I'm like, so what have I even done, since the breakup, blah, blah, blah. And I'd get really sad. And they would look at me like I was crazy and go, oh my God, have you even listed what you've done in the last year? I'm like, no, no, I haven't. So I did. And I put it on FetLife. I'll have the link to that in the show notes in case you're interested, but because I'm not going to read every single line on here, you guys can go read it for yourself. But in the last year, some of the things that I wrote down was that I've been on the road for the last year, right? I have visited friends, family, built some relationships, put some energy into some of my friendships. I've been grieving over two major life events. So one was the breakup, one was losing my sister. That was my cheerleader. She knew most everything about my life. That is probably where I would have gone to settle down, and then I lost her. Okay, so I've been grieving over a couple of different things. During that time, I also bought my own car, bought a cargo carrier for it to carry my vending stuff, figured out some other financial stuff. Figured out how to fit my vending and personal stuff in my car, put 33,000 miles on my car, visited 27 states, went to Mexico on my own, have driven cross country from Delaware to San Diego, have driven from Chicago down to Alabama. I mean, I've been across country a couple of times now. I've circled the lower part of the country, got to visit my family for the holidays for 6 weeks. I'm scrolling through here. Like I said, I don't want to go through all of the stuff. Rebuilding relationships with my sons and my grandchild. Went on a 10-day vacation with the boyfriend, Big D, and his grandson. Creating new relationships. Let's see, friendships, lots of friendships. Visiting patrons and podcast listeners. I've done that. Oh my gosh, so many friendships with everybody's fur babies. All the dogs. I've got so many pictures of cats and dogs and, in my lap. So that's kind of cool. And then I explored some new places. And if you guys have any new places that you want to throw out there that I should visit, please let me know because so far, and I'm going to tell you a few of these, the Petrified Forest, which I'd been to before, but only the museum. I didn't know the Petrified Forest was like more, and it's so much more. So I went to the Petrified Forest again. I went over into the Painted Desert, which is also petrified forest, and then Dodge City, Kansas, Joshua Tree Park, California, the Bay Bridge Tunnel. Again, I'm from that area, so I've been on it before, but this is the first time I drove it by myself. So that was cool. I've done it 3 times now in the last year. Trolley ride in Asheville, North Carolina. I did the Assateague Island National Seashore. Again, I'm from that area. I've done the beach, but I've never been over to the island. So that was kind of neat. Socorro, New Mexico, Roswell, New Mexico, the Dignity Statue in South Dakota, Devil's Tower, Wyoming, Crazy Horse Monument, Mount Rushmore, Hot Springs, South Dakota. Amazing, amazing museum there. Oh my gosh. The Intigalios, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, in Blythe, California, the Salton Sea in California, a couple of different places in Texas, Alabama, the Santa Fe Trail in Kansas, the Forest Giants in Kentucky, and oh my gosh. And then just experiences, many of these with friends. So I've been kayaking. I went to the Sean Cassidy concert. I am in my 50s and Sean Cassidy is a thing. So I finally got to see him. Went to the Six Flags amusement park with my friend Troy, who's been on the show before. Did a hook pool with friends. Some of them have been on the show before. Some of them have been friends for 20 years. Have I done 2 hook pools? No, just the one. Visited the grave of a Confederate ancestor. That was really cool. Chicago Science Museum, Chicago Chinatown, Lucy Darling Comedy Show, largest arcade in the country, King's Spa with friends. I'm going to do that again in a couple of months. Skywheel on the pier, so many new casinos and parks and labyrinths. Saw my first rattlesnake. Thank God I was in the car and it was crossing a dirt road. That's exactly how I want to see a snake if I have to see a snake. So in my car, I've camped on my own a couple of times. So many new Waffle Houses and Planet Fitnesses. And I mean, I taught at a vanilla HypnoCon. I mean, this is all in the last year, right? I've played with new people, tried new things, gone to new munches, submissive retreat, bottomed for new things. I'm looking through this list and I'm like, oh my God. And it goes on and on. But just a few more things. I know you guys are like, oh my God, Dawn, we get it. You've done a lot of things. But I did. I kind of slingshotted and looked at things that I wanted to do. And if not now, when? I don't know where I'm going to settle down. I got a few options in mind. I would love for it to be where there's kink community. So every time I go to a place that has community, I check the community out, and some I've been like, nope, this community wasn't welcoming. And others where they were, and those go to the top of my list. But anyway, so other things that I've done that involve the podcast and the presenting and the vending, as you guys know, because I've said on here before, I donated episodes 1 through 732, which are all the ones that have me and Dan. I donated those to the Leather Archives. Since then, I've recorded more than 30 shows on my own. I've done interviews with 12 new people. I've been on court TV twice. The Backpatch, the new Erotic Awakening Backpatch. I taught in a new state, which was New Mexico. I've taught at new events, which was the New Mexico one and Primal Arts. I've taught solo at 14 events. Vended at 6 new events. Scheduled my POTQ2, which I've told people for years I was going to do that level again. Well, it is ongoing, as in, I have students, they will be presenting their final projects in a couple of weeks, and there will be new POTQ2 graduates. I love that. And then I began to present my new classes, and the series is called The Healing Dungeon. So many things, and there's a lot more. I mean, I just dug in and started to do things. Now, the year, it's been almost a month, almost. It's been a couple of weeks since the year anniversary, and already I am looking at things that I want to do this year, and I've already started doing them. So that's kind of cool. I will have to let you guys know what some of those things are that are coming up because I'm pretty excited about them. Anyway, this is what I do. This is what I do. I have all this knowledge and skill, and I like sharing all these things with you. So that is and. I did this and that and this and that and so much more. I may have to title a book called And. And someone actually mentioned that I should do a book and have all the vignettes in there of the things that I've done in the community over the last 25 years. So it would be PXS, the Columbus Space, the books, the podcasts, the subs and service, so many things. Anyway, I love it. And like I said, more to come. All right. I was also at the post office a couple of days ago mailing out some decks of Kinkstarter cards because, reminder, Kinkstarter cards have free shipping right now, and that is going to save you a bit of money. I was in the post office and I was like, what? It is only a deck of cards. And they just kind of shrugged their shoulders. So it is what it is. Shipping is expensive. Get your Kinkstarter cards either in person. Anytime I am in person somewhere, because the stuff I need to live off of is in my car. As long as my car is with me, I've got Kinkstarter cards. So if you see me in person, you can get Kinkstarter cards that way. Or if you go to eroticawakening.com, the cards are there and it is marked as free shipping. Fantastic. Thanks for hanging out with me this long, guys. I know this is a lot of me talking. But we are wrapping it up now. So if you want to get in contact with me, I can be found at Dawn_Awakening or Erotic_Awakening on FetLife, Erotic Awakening on Instagram, EA Podcast Dawn on TikTok, or just email me at dawn@eroticawakening.com. And be a part of the Erotic Awakening podcast community. You can become a patron of the show and get early access to the podcast, a free copy of the audiobook Polyamory Toolkit, free ebooks, decks of Kinkstarter cards, discounts on monthly Zoom classes, member-only Discord Not Safe for Work channel, and more. Find all the goodies at patreon.com/Erotic Awakening today. And did you know that there are Kinksters that haven't heard of the show? Help others find Erotic Awakening. Give us high ratings wherever you listen to the podcast, and most importantly, tell your friends. And join the conversation with other listeners. Use the links from the Erotic Awakening website for our interactive Discord channel open to all listeners. Until next time, may your journey be filled with passion, joy, and a bit of naughtiness. Bye, everyone.